read what Underwood said at the end of the Big Ten tournament. And remember, he had a pretty easy run to the tournament. Beat Ohio State, didn't cover, played Nebraska, played Wisconsin. Not the upper echelon run that they had to make. But yet at the end of the tournament, Underwood said, I am so happy to not have to face Big Ten teams. So when I went to take a look, we always talk about rest versus rust in the NCAA tournament and those teams that win those 3, 4, or 5 straight games to get to the point they have to get. Well, the Big Ten champ, the team that cuts down the nets on Sunday, on Selection Sunday, has only been 2-7 against the spread the last 9 years. It does take a lot out of those teams fighting in game after game after game scenario. NCAA tournament favorites of 10.5 or more are only 44.8%. And when an NCAA favorite of 10 or more is facing an opponent with over 6 days of rest, they are only 40.5%. I look at Morehead State, and they are a team that is a winning program, folks. This is the 4th straight season under Spradlin where they won 20-plus games. They are a 3-point shooting fiend. They are number 25 in the country in percentage of 3 points taken versus 2-point free throws. They are just one of 22 teams in the NCAA to make over 300 3-point shots this year. Illinois, number 214 in 3-point defense. That's number 13 in the Big Ten. And again, number 214 nationally. They do have a star in Minix. Minix was the OVC Player of the Year. He's someone that can compete in the middle with Illinois. Because you look at Illinois, their best player, Terrence Shannon, 6'6". Minix, 6'7", same size. Illinois does have a little bit of a height advantage, but Morehead State is a very, very slow-paced team, number 335 as far as tempo goes. Illinois does want to press that pace. We'll see how much they're going to press that pace after those 5 tough days, and knowing again that they're going to have to play on Saturday. Add it all up, Morehead State plus the generous amount of points. I will be backing the Eagles on Thursday.
I want to talk about layoffs for a minute, Ralph, because to me this is an interesting question, and I don't know the exact answer. You talked about double-digit underdogs being good off a layoff. Here we're talking about, again, some of the teams, most of the teams played their conference tournaments last weekend. Some of them have been off since the previous weekend, like Morehead State. Is that a concern for you when a team has an extended, when they've had more than, a week and a half, 10 days, 11 days between games, or is that really a non-factor when it comes to point spread success in the first round of the Big Dance?
Teddy, I had to pull up a document that I had. We're going to show a chart after this, and I am making a March Madness guide like I did weekly for Bet On It, where I'm going to have a lot of situations to talk about. I don't have it broken down as favorite, but I can tell you this. When you look at round 1 going back since 2012, when a team has less than 6 days rest against an opponent with at least 10 days rest, that was pretty much the divide I had of the teams that play the second week versus the teams that play the first week. Against the spread, the teams with the less rest, 34.9%. If those teams are a favorite like Illinois is, 35.3%. So there is a correlation, rest versus rust, that the rested teams have done traditionally better since 2012, and that will be in the guide with the teams that applies to this week. I'll throw them off quickly real here. This system says the fade: Illinois, Connecticut, Houston, Wisconsin, and Washington State.
Okay, there we go. Ralph, before we get into your chart, what do you have to promote for the clients?
Well, as I said, number one thing, I do have a 5% going tomorrow, but I do want you to take advantage of the free information. Wager Talk provides so much free information. I will have this guide posted on my homepage by 2 p.m. Eastern. It'll have all 3 charts that I did on Bet On It yesterday. It'll have the chart we listed today, plus it'll talk about the rest versus non-rest that we just talked about, teams off back-to-back losses, teams off back-to-back wins as a dog, teams off back-to-back overs, teams off back-to-back unders, all those type of situations. Again, it'll give you the situation, the actual ATS records, and the teams they apply to. WT.buzz /RM, the shortcut to my page. And again, that'll be up by 2 p.m. Eastern.